All right, we've officially gotten to the end of the 2018 NFL season, and it was definitely a crazy one, especially that last game of the season, and it really came down to it. But with the end of the season, comes MVP. It's the first 17 game schedule, 18 weeks, and I think it was definitely a long season, and I've got my picks for MVP, but Jake, I want to lead it with you about who is your MVP after this long season.
After this long season, I still have to go with my boy Aaron. Had an amazing season, but I think it's I think it's actually a four-way race for MVP between Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Jonathan Taylor, and my surprise last pick of Matthew Stafford. And I'm gonna lead with why I think Matthew Stafford. He's got he was the quarterback for two of the greatest receiving seasons ever. Now with Cooper Cup, everything you can say, oh, he had an extra game, he didn't beat Calvin Johnson's record, but still, he's got two of the greatest seasons for a receiver, and he was the quarterback for both of them. I think that goes a long way for me as showing your competitiveness, and you can still do it at that high of a level with almost really anything being Cooper Cups. He's not a 6'5" Calvin Johnson like Megatron or a Julio Jones, Devontae Adams type of player. Not even an Odell Beckham. Um, that's that's really my thought on Stafford maybe being MVP, and then Jonathan Taylor. That's just just amazing all around. In his second year, you've got 18 touchdowns, 1,811 yards. That's an average of 5.5 a game. Only on 332 attempts. For a second year guy, that's very fucking impressive to me.
Oh yeah,
Very, very. And then it's MVP. You can't leave out Tom Brady. I mean, the GOAT. He leads the league in yards. I think he also leads in touchdowns with 43. 12 interceptions isn't that great, but he's still the GOAT. That guy is insane. But then the only reason I have to go with my man Aaron, he's only thrown 4 interceptions on the year, 4,115 yards. Now that is like about
wow.
1,200 behind Brady, and 6 touchdowns actually behind Brady. But it's really kind of a toss up between Tom and Aaron. It's really is. It's really hard to say. I think I'm just kind of a little biased because I love my Packers, but I think it can go either way between either 12s.
I can't even disagree with you. Like, me being a big Tom Brady fan, obviously, like I'm a little biased too, but like he's got the stats and everything for it. He's got the most, like you said, touchdowns, passing yards. Although he's got the 12 picks and a couple of the bad, like the Saints games, they're still. But Rodgers just made it look so easy this year, and there was what people are forgetting is like the Packers got hit with so many injuries,
Yeah.
and they just made it look so easy. That's why I have Rodgers at 1, and then Brady at 2. Although, like you said, he's the GOAT, and bro, he's 44, and he's like, this is arguably one of the best seasons he's ever had. Like, he's in the MVP conversation, and no knock on him, but I just think Aaron, just playing a little better this year. He's not making the mistakes.
Yeah.
And then my third choice was actually Cooper Cup. Like you said, where would the Rams be without him? Stafford was really good for them too. He's had his moments, but Cup has really been their like guy. Like if you take him away from them, like damn, and you lost Robert Woods too, so he's been carrying a lot of load, and he's only a couple yards away from beating Megatron's record. Like you said, it's an extra game, but who cares? And and he holds it to Megatron and Cooper now, and that's why I have it third. And then, oh man, Jonathan Taylor, he still had a great season, like you said. He just, I'm gonna blame it on Carson. They shit the bed really bad, and it cost him a playoff spot, and that probably would have at least put him better in the conversation. But I think after even they lost to the Raiders, I was like, I think that's it.
Yeah, I was a little worried after that Raiders loss, and then with all the better odds going on and all the talk and hoopla going on, I think all the Colts players kind of bought into it, and I think that's kind of how the Jags stole that last game in the final week from them.
I just could not believe it, and I still can't believe it now. But shout out Jonathan Taylor. You had a hell of a season. Great
Big
year.
time. Shout out Jonathan Taylor. Second year player. That's amazing year. A lot more to come.
So, we both already got the MVP wrapped up. We both give it to Rodgers. Really, like you said, anybody's race. But definitely Rodgers is the favorite. And wild card weekend is just a couple days away now. And the thing I'm looking forward to this playoffs is there's really no perfect team. Every team's got its flaws. And it really is open. The Buccaneers, they have a lot of injuries right now. If they just start off bad against a good team, it could be bad. What happened to the Packers a couple weeks ago with the Browns, their ability or lack of ability to stop the run a little bit, but they're getting healthier at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bills, you don't know what you're going to get from them. The Chiefs, their defense still doesn't really look like it's
exactly. I was going to bring up the Chiefs. The Chiefs' defense is still in question. I think the Chiefs might be in shambles if they don't figure out the defense. And the defense has honestly been a question for me for the Chiefs, honestly, since about week 4. I've been kind of saying you've heard me throughout the whole season kind of saying the Chiefs' defense definitely needs work. I think it still needs some work.
And I agree. And Patty's been covering it up, and he's been having quietly a baller season, but their defense still really looks like it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be a wild run, and I'm really, and then even Tennessee, we don't really know what they're about with, what's Derrick Henry going to look like. I'm pretty sure he's going to be great. And they even got that other back for Foreman,
mm-hmm.
and he's been pretty good for them. But like you said, is Tannehill the guy? We're gonna find out.
I think Tennessee should have kept Adrian Peterson.
Oh yeah, they definitely should have kept him.
I think they should have let him at least play out the season.
Yeah, I was actually really sad that they just had him and then he went to Seattle. I don't know where he is now, but
I have no clue. Shout out AP though.
Yep, shout out former MVP.
Former MVP.
So for this first game to kick off the weekend, it's the Raiders at the Bengals, and the Raiders just etched off that crazy win against the Chargers, so they're in, and they are going to be playing a really fast-paced, high offense Bengals team that can really light it up if they're hitting right on all cylinders. And Joey's young and Jamar's a rookie, but they're balling like they've got that experience,
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm really surprised with Joe Burrow this season. Comeback player of the year, definitely my vote for sure. I mean, it's really his second year in the league now. Well, him and Jamar Chase too, big time. Shout out to Jamar Chase. The season that he had this year, I think the Bengals. I really like the Bengals this year. They are my sleeper pick in the AFC right now. I want to pick them over the Chiefs, but it's hard to bet against Patty. It's really hard to bet against that man Mahomes, but I think the team that has, the best shot, I honestly would have to go with the Cincinnati Bengals this year. I think they got it. I don't know if they have a defense that can stop Mahomes, but I think in the end, they have an offense that can probably keep up with them.
So you definitely got the Bengals for this game then?
For sure. I think I've got the Bengals by 10.
I wanted to touch up what you were saying about Burrow and Chase. They can really light it up, and I think really they're the ones that are going to give Kansas City the most problems. And if we do get that rematch, it'll be an Arrowhead, which will be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I do think they're going to win this game. There's a little bit of it's the one side of it. The Raiders, they have that momentum from last week. They you could say that was, it was a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
And the way Max Crosby was playing for them on Sunday was crazy. And like you said, their defense on Cincinnati is you don't know what you're gonna get. So if Max Crosby could just kind of really pressure Burrow,
Mm-hmm.
and the Raiders are a little bit, like I said, they got that momentum. But I think I got the Bengals as well. I'm gonna have to pick them. I just think that they just really got that high-powered offense, like you were saying. Burrow most improved player, and then Chase rookie of the year. So that's a good
For
combo.
sure.
But get this. Cincinnati wins. That'll be their first playoff win since 1990.
That means somebody can actually send a text message about the Bengals winning, because text messages, I think, were invented in 93.
I mean, even me, I wasn't even born yet.
I wasn't even born yet either.
Yeah, so this is going to be huge for them. Like, because Cleveland just got their first playoff victory in a while last year, and now it's another Ohio team, except it's the other Ohio team, it's Cincinnati. So we got that game wrapped up. We both picked the Bengals then.
Just to hit back on it, who in the Oakland Raiders ownership lets their players have driver's licenses?
Oh, damn. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. It is the Raiders, though.
They're just not to hit all the negatives, but at least I can't remember a season where a team has had this many mishaps and so many DUIs in a short span of one season. With the season going on, like if it's the off season, it's one thing, but in the season, I don't know.
I'm glad you actually brought that up because like they have had a weird, crazy season, bro. Their coach got fired. One of their players actually fucking killed somebody. Like rest in peace to them, you know.
R.I.P.
You know, and it was just they just had a weird season, but that's why I was like, this momentum they have, they could like just have that. Fuck it, nobody believes in us, but like. That's like one just situation I could see happening. That's what to me is gonna have to happen because we've got to remember Derek Carr hasn't played a playoff game either.
True.
So, but
do you think that some of the dark things that are happening with some of these players, do you think it comes with being where they're at in the Sin City of Las Vegas?
They said that about Staley after he called that timeout, and they were saying he was in bad places. That's why he would just call a timeout in that situation. So. I mean, I was thinking it the other day, so it's not too far fetched if you're saying that. Cause
my dad said it to me the other. He goes, "What?" He said, "What do you expect when you move a football team to Las Vegas?" I was like, I just kind of had to throw my arms up.
Oh my gosh, you're right, because it was in Vegas too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably, dude. I mean, that's for the conspiracy theorists out there. Yeah. But I was thinking it too, so I can't even say anything. Literally.
I would have never thought that Las Vegas would have a sports team, let alone now that we've seen two of them pop up in Las Vegas in the last 4 years.
We'll probably be getting another one soon too.
Probably. It wouldn't surprise me.
So, I think we're good with that one. Both got the Bengals, me and Jake. So, the second game we got the epic conclusion to the Patriots-Bills trilogy.
Round 3.
We remember round 1, the snow fest where Mac only threw 3 times.
The run fest.
The run fest.
The run of the Bills.
The very cold game in Buffalo. But we also remember what the Bills did just 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later after the bye. Mm-hmm. And they made it look pretty easy against New England. And it's going to be the epic conclusion. Like you said, round 3. And I just really don't trust anybody in this game. Mac, to me, has not been the same since that game. When he's only... After the first Buffalo game, they lost to the Colts. We got together for that one. And then they lost to the Bills. And the Bills laid it on them. And then they lost to Miami. And then they beat Jacksonville, but it's Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. So, but then they lost to Miami. So that's like 3 out of 4 that they've lost.
Yeah, that's 2 division losses. And honestly, that was 3 hard losses. I was really surprised when they lost to the Colts that night.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of the start of a fall, but I feel like they've caught themselves. And I think this is kind of the game we see of, Are they coming back up, or are they just gonna fall back down and lay down and take it this time? I think it's gonna be a very, very close game. I think it might come down to like the last drive, like a 3-pointer. I really think it's gonna come down to like a field goal. It might be like a 1 to 2 point win. I've got New England over the Bills actually right now.
Do you think? Now, let me ask you this: do you think that it's gonna have to be like a weather-dependent game for the Patriots, or do you think they can play it no matter what?
I think they can play it no matter what. Being they're both two outside teams, and it's not like in New England. It's warm all the time.
Yeah, because like we just saw the weather reports for just before. It's gonna be single digits, low single digits, and then it said it like 14-mile-per-hour winds. So it won't be as bad as it was on Monday night a couple weeks ago, but like you said, it's going to be one of those cold weather epic battles. I think I'm going to go with the Patriots too. And I agree that because I agree it's going to be a very 1 to 2 point, 3 point game. It's going to be close.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for New England, they got to start out right. They cannot get behind. And their defense has really got to like make it hard for Josh Allen. Like it's the only way they're going to be able to do it. Because like we don't know what kind of Bengals or Bills we're gonna get because Josh Allen could have just one of those crazy games he had like against New England the second time where he lit it up, or just I mean they didn't really play that great against the Jets. They lost to the Jags earlier in the season. I know that was a while ago, but I mean it's gonna have to be like I think they're gonna rely on Josh Allen heavy in this game.
I think so too. I think I think it comes down to how he plays, and seeing the stats of the two games. Not throwing an interception in both them games, I think, is very big against a Belichick defense because Belichick is he's like a Nick Saban. He's defense coach first, offense after, and even his offense, it's always come in, do your job. Just that's what I've always admired about Belichick. He's well coached, just the system, like they've always said, the system.
Yeah,
and he's pretty much built that system, I think.
I agree. It's like they're doing this with a rookie quarterback too, and like it sucks because like Mac's done so well that we're already not even comparing him to the rookies. We're like comparing him to like already like pros, vets, and like I think it's gonna be a fight, and I'm not gonna lie, it feels like this rivalry between New England and Buffalo has just intensified in this last month.
Yeah,
because they're like, well. Buffalo's like, oh, well, you lost Brady. We own the AFC now. And then they get Mac, and they're back in it, and they were only a game away from taking the division. Could have had the division, And you got to remember when Diggs scored that touchdown in Foxborough a couple weeks ago. You remember what he said when he scored the touchdown?
Mm-mm.
He went by those three fans. He was like, you, shut the fuck up. Yeah, I saw.
I did not see that.
I said, damn. I said, yeah, because the Bills they hate the Patriots.
Yeah.
And likewise, so I think this is going to be a hard game. But I'm with you. I got the Patriots. I think they can do it.
I think the game, the first round one. I think the run of the Bills. I think that loss kind of hurt them. As an NFL player, like, damn, we just got beat and they threw the ball 3 fucking times.
I mean, is there a chance Belichick does it again?
I think there's a chance of it. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it happens again
because they can do it. They've done it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Bill Belichick, that guy.
So we both got the Patriots for that one. I will say this. Final note on this one is. If the Bills do lose, I think that paves the way, clear shot for Kansas City to go to the Super Bowl. Because I think the Bills are the one team that can really, they laid it on the Chiefs earlier in the season. It wasn't pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think they can do it again. And it was at Arrowhead, too. So I think that'll be the one team that I think they can really knock them out. But that's just me.
That was my thought sitting here for a while when I said I think the only team that can take out Kansas City is the Bengals. I was thinking the Bills, but I've got the Pats over the Bills, so it's hard for me to think if the Bills can really beat Kansas City again. I mean the way they did beat them though, they went into Kansas City and beat the shit out of them. That was a one-sided game. It wasn't even the Kansas City Chiefs didn't even show up for that game, but in the playoffs, the Chiefs are going to show up. So I think if the Bills and Chiefs do meet up somehow, it'll be a very, very close game.
Yo,
I think almost anybody the Bills run into, I think it's going to be a close game. I don't have.
I agree with you. It's going to be one of those, like, you're fighting to the last minute. And I do think that Kansas City does not want to meet Buffalo. That's the one team they don't want to fucking meet.
I think that is the one team they don't want to see.
So, either way, it's going to be a great game. Both got New England. So, those are the 2 Saturday games. Then we go to Sunday. And the first game, it's the Eagles at the Bucks against the defending champions. Jake, who you got for this one?
It's going to be a close one. No, I'm actually just kidding. I think Brady's actually going to wipe the floor with them. I don't think there's going to be no Philly specials going on. I mean, with all due respect to Devontae Adams and Jalen Hurts, the Roll Tide Alabama alums that I love so dearly, I don't see them contending with Tom Brady. This is Tom Brady in wild card, which is weird to say. That's just that just doesn't
roll off the tongue.
No, it doesn't roll off the tongue, right? But
at home too.
At home, I've got Tampa Bay. Honestly, I think winning by 2 touchdowns, at least a 10-point victory. I think the Eagles might play pretty hard in the first half. With Tampa being banged up, I think Brady rallies the troops and gets them in the second half.
I actually agree. I don't think they're gonna. This is gonna be one of those games where the Bucks lay on them, or it's like somehow Philly pulls it, and this is just one of those weird flukes. Because, like you said, the injuries, like Tampa. I mean, they're getting some players back, but man, I mean, we just saw the players on the list, and they've got a lot of players out, and key players as well. You know, they lost AB the last 2 weeks ago, and they lost Chris a while ago back too.
Fournette, Bernard,
Yep.
JPP, Levante David.
Yep, and it's going to be definitely a struggle, but I think you're right. I think that they've rallied the troop. Brady's going to rally the troops, and I don't think Philly's going to beat them. Hurts, like you said, he might have a good first half scrambling because he is quick, but I think that Bucks should win this game. So
I hope to see Devontae Smith at least have a good game.
Yeah.
I definitely hope to see that. I hope to see a good game, a good back and forth game.
I want to see kind of like a coming out for him,
Yeah, like kind of like the Eagles saying, look, we're going to run the division. It's not going to be the Cowboys division no more.
Oh, man. So, we both got the Buccaneers. Like I said, I had them. I think you're right. I think it's going to be like 2 touchdowns, 10. I had 21 in my notes, but I think I'm just putting too much respect on them. So, that takes us to the 4 o'clock Sunday game. The 49ers and the Cowboys. And this game right here, this is the one I think I'm kind of most excited for, except New England one I'm most excited for. This one's like right there because these 2 teams to me are like evenly matched, and there's a little bit of that rivalry from the 80s there. They haven't met in a while, and these 2 fan bases hate each other.
True.
And I mean, I even like thinking now, I really don't know who I have. It might be a game time decision, but I will have it. I mean, are we gonna get Dak that we had last Saturday where he lit up Philly, or are we gonna have like
Dak the last 2 weeks?
Yeah,
he's been playing.
And I don't know. Cowboys also have that little lore of like they always have the great teams, and then they just kind of fizzle out.
They have a great run, and then they show why their team color is blue. Because if we've been choking for 40 years, we'd be blue too.
Oh, damn. So what are you... I'm expecting... What are you expecting the 49ers to do? I'm expecting them to kind of like...
I expect them to come and try and run the ball really good. I expect them to try to establish a good run game. I think, Samuel? Debo Samuel?
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a pretty good game. I don't think Jimmy's going to, open eyes. I think he's going to have like a Jimmy Garoppolo game, maybe like a mid, close to 200 yards maybe, 1 to 2 touchdowns, maybe even a pick in there because you're going against Trayvon Diggs. That guy is amazing.
Yep. Shout out Trayvon Diggs.
Big time. Defensive Rookie of the Year for sure.
Oh,
And they even got Micah Parsons, who, I mean, shit. That's...
he's definitely Defensive Rookie of the Year for sure. He's got that locked.
It's arguably between him and Trayvon Diggs. And even
True.
Defensive Player of the Year, you got to give it to one of them, I think. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, both of them guys both deserve Defensive Player of the Year awards. Like, and that's hard to say for me because I don't like the Cowboys one bit. But I have to give respect where talent's due. And they have a very talented defense.
And I agree with you. I think the 49ers are going to run the ball. Jimmy he had his moments against the Rams last week where he just kind of wasn't it, but he also made some clutch throws, like when it mattered most. And like you said, I don't think he's going to do too much. It's going to be like he's going to do enough just to get him the win.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to go with see, I'm having trouble. I think I'm going to go with the 49ers.
That's honestly who I'm going to have to take as well.
You know, me being born in Dallas, I want to pick the Cowboys, and I love Dak, but I just don't know what Dak we're going to get, and I don't know. It's like what you were saying. Their defense is going to have to show up. They have to make stops, and Dak's also going to have to do it for the 49ers. It's like we can run the ball, and Jimmy, like you said, we were talking before, that he's been to the game. You know, he did it, and last year it was a weird year, and then 1 year later he's back in the playoffs, and I think that game against the Rams is going to even give him a little bit of momentum going into this game.
Big time. They come from behind. Like, they were down by, 21 at one point?
I think so. Yes, they were down 17-0. And then, yeah, it was something like that. And they came back, and we were watching that one, and we were shocked at how quick it happened.
Yeah.
So I think that they've got that momentum, and Kittle didn't even have a good game. So, like, if they can get Kittle going, Deebo Samuel, run the ball, I think they'll do just enough to get it. But Dallas, they're going to have to do it on both, because I can also see a game where Dallas just lights them up.
That's honestly what I'm worried about. The way Dallas has been firing on all cylinders the last, 2 weeks, I think they put up, 40 or 50 something last week, and didn't they hang a 60 ball on somebody earlier?
Yeah, they have been laying it on them. And then, like you said, especially against Philly, if we get that version of the Cowboys, I'll take the Cowboys, but just because we don't know what we're going to get, I'm going to go with 49ers.
True. That's honestly my take as well. If you never know what Cowboys you're going to get on Sunday, and especially being a new year, it's January. Cowboys haven't played a playoff game in how long? And when they did the last time, I think it was Aaron Rodgers scrambling to his left and throwing that pass to Jared Cook.
Yep. That was the one.
We all remember that.
So we both got the 49ers for the fourth game. And the final game of the night is Steelers at Arrowhead against the Chiefs. As Aaron said in our group chat, Ben's retirement party. I got the invite, so
I got the invite too. I'll see you there.
Awesome. I mean, I don't really think we need to talk about this game too much. I mean,
yeah, I think it's kind of a clear cut. I think this might be the most clear cut one. I think the Chiefs honestly destroy them unless Pittsburgh's defense shows up, like we talked about earlier. I think Pittsburgh can hang in there if their defense shows up. Not if I don't know about their offense. The Big Ben I've been watching, this man really looks like a broken robot, and his offensive line has to put his arm back on after every throw. It sucks to see because Ben is I can't really say a legend, but like he's he's been around forever. He's been one of those guys like Phillip Rivers.
He was good.
Yeah, he was good. Like he had his he had his moments. Been to 3 Super Bowls. Yeah, he's lost 2. He's won 1 though. He's been in contention, like every year since then. It's not like he's really fallen off. I mean, And I mean, the poor guy's got to deal with Chase Claypool and Juju Smith-Schuster. I mean, come on, we've got to at least count something in there for him.
And the tail end of AB's
crazy
spiral.
And Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, he had to deal with a lot of shit.
The triple Bs.
Oh, dude.
They were the triple Bs before Big Baller Brand.
Oh, yeah, man. He had a good career, and he's always going to have 43 under his belt.
True.
You know, that crazy catch or throw to Santonio. Great throw. Great catch.
Very.
So, had a good career. But, I mean, I'd like to see, like, one more, like, Big Ben good game, but I just don't see it happening at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Like you said, the only way this game gets is interesting at all is if Steelers defense just gets to Mahomes and just makes it hard for him. I mean, they stood toe-to-toe with Bills week 1. I know that's week 1, but they've had some clutch wins, you know. So I think it's definitely going to be the Chiefs, though. They just have too many weapons, dude. I mean, their offense is going to do fine, but the Chiefs' defense is what worries me. But, I mean, they're playing the Steelers with, like you said, Big Ben literally on his last... He's literally just getting the last little bit career that he can.
Squeezing the last bit of juice out of it.
Yeah, he's squeezing the last little bit of his career, and he said, you know what, this is going to be it. And, I mean, I'm happy he's in the playoffs, but Chiefs, and it's probably going to be like a blowout.
Yeah, I think Chiefs by at least 14.
And the Chiefs, like, one thing I do want to talk about is, like you said, they've got the offense. It's just their defense. I wanted to bring up last week against Denver, where, like, they really should have lost that game. They could have lost that game, but that fumble changed everything, the fumble return.
Yeah, the fumble is pretty much what saved them, I think. I think the fumble really saved them. I think it kind of opened their eyes. At least if I was Andy Reid, it would have opened my eyes. Like, our defense needs work. If what's happened the weeks before that wasn't an eye-opener, I think that was. Being in the spot that they were in, close to losing to a Denver team who's really in shambles right now.
Yeah, I did want to bring that up. So I am in the same boat as you. Is like, that is a little worrisome because Drew Lock was just lighting them up.
Yeah.
And they just made one mistake and it cost them the game. And their defense can't really fuck it up, but it's the Steelers that I think are going to just have trouble putting up the points just because they don't really have a great offense. Mm-hmm. So I think we both got the Chiefs. And then that wraps it up for the Sunday games. And the first Monday night playoff game, at least in my lifetime. I don't remember.
In my lifetime as well.
So this will be good. This is also round 3 of a NFC rivalry. It's the Cardinals and the Rams. Cardinals at the Rams.
Whew, boy. This is the one game. I'm still on edge. I'm leaning back and forth. Because I think if how the playoff tree is set up right, I think the winner of this goes and plays Green Bay. I don't know if that's true or not. But if that is true, my pick is going with who I'd like to see come to Green Bay. But it's so hard. It's really been a hard decision. Kyler Murray's been playing crazy this year until he lost DeAndre Hopkins, which I think is a big hit to the Cardinals. I think it was a really big hit. Like, their offense kind of took a big hit. After that,
they haven't been the same since.
No, even after they lost to Green Bay, they bounced back. And I personally thought, I said, oh shit, they're going to be the one to lock up the 1 seed. Like, at the way they're playing, they've got a good defense. They've got weapons all over around the offensive side of the ball.
It's ever since that game they have not been the same, and obviously that you lose DeAndre Hopkins, it's been rough for them. They lost to the Lions and they lost to the Colts, and then they just lost to Seattle. Mm-hmm. Russ lit them up, and that cost them the division because the Rams ended up losing that game. They could have taken the division back.
Those are all 3 teams, honestly, that they probably should have beat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, the Colts is kind of 50-50. I'm happy that the Colts won.
Yeah, and they did beat Dallas, and that's another You know,
I forgot they beat Dallas. I did forget
so
that.
that was the one that kind of gave me a little bit of hope, and I don't know, that's kind of why I don't trust them. And for the Rams, at least, their defense, I think, is what's going to keep them in this game, and that's going to make it hard for Kyler Murray, I think, and especially without his top man.
Mm-hmm.
So I've, you know, it's like you said, it's really a toss-up game because these teams are just so like you don't trust them. I don't trust either of them.
Yeah, it's really it was really hard to pick because for me, I went with my gut and based it on who do I want to see come to Green Bay in the first game, and I said I wanted to see the Cardinals. Now the reason I'm picking the Cardinals, it's fucked up. They don't have DeAndre Hopkins. Do I think that they can beat the Rams without him? Maybe by a field goal on a last drive thing, but that means you have to keep it close the whole game. And can they keep it close the whole game? I don't know. Cardinals have a good defense.
I was gonna ask, do you know if we're getting J.J. Watt back?
That's what I am wondering.
Because I had that in my notes. I didn't know if he was gonna actually come back because I saw reported just a couple days ago about him being cleared. But I mean, what effect? I mean, he's probably going to be something, if he does come back. It can't hurt to not have J.J. Watt,
Right, I mean, J.J. Watt is J.J. Watt. That man's...
So, I actually went with the Rams on this one. And I think that their defense is really what's going to keep them in this game. And it's going to make it hard for Kyler, unless he can scramble. But I think that the Rams win they had against them a couple weeks ago reassured them a little bit, and their offense, they just have to score, and they definitely have the weapons. But I just I'm a Lions fan, so I've seen Stafford his whole career, and I came to a realization on New Year's when I was talking to one of my friends, and we were talking about Stafford, and he said, Stafford was good. He was great for us. He was never the problem, but he was never the solution either in Detroit.
That's very true.
You always bring up the point, like he hasn't, even with Megatron, he couldn't even win a playoff game. So if we get great Matthew Stafford, I think this is for sure the Rams, but Matthew Stafford, it's going to be all on him. He's going to have a great game. Because if he has one of his bad Matthew Stafford games, it's done. It's done, I think.
I think what it takes I think if the Rams somehow overcome the Cardinals, they get a lot of fire. And if they do go to if the Rams do end up in Green Bay, what a story that would be for Stafford. You're at your new team. You're coming back to Green Bay in January to play a cold game against a team you've played against your whole career.
It'll be like the Avengers meeting Thanos again. He's like, where did that bring you? Back to me. You leave the division, but yet you still have to beat this man to advance. Because I do believe that whoever wins this one has to go to Lambeau. And all those years of playing against Stafford, wouldn't that be something, like you said, if he wins this game and then has to go through Lambeau. Has to beat the one guy he really hasn't been able to beat. I think he's beaten only a handful of times, but Rodgers owns him. And I just hope that Matthew Stafford plays great. And definitely, I think, has the most pressure going into this postseason. I love Matthew Stafford, but he's going to have a great game. And
big time. A very stellar game, like on point. No, not a lot of mess ups, if any.
No stupid throws like he had against San Francisco. They just lost to San Francisco last week. We were making fun of Aaron in our chat. They shit the bed.
They did. Big time. Like
last game of the season for the division.
As much as we were joking about it happening, I was really in the back of my head was like, what if this really happens? And then just to watch it unfold, I really almost shit my own bed watching it happen because it was just so funny.
Yeah, same with you. I didn't actually think they were going to do it. I was just clowning them. And they were actually like shit in the bed, and I was like, this is not good.
That's kind of why I think at the way the 49ers played them, I think the 49ers roll into Dallas and get that win off of a very. I think they're still going to be hyped up off that win off of LA. Like, that was a very big comeback win at the end of the year like that. I think it's a big momentum booster, like a big confidence booster, and that's the one thing you need rolling into the playoffs is momentum and confidence. And if momentum's on your side, I mean, shit, the sky is the limit at that.
I mean, that's actually a good point. I didn't think about that. You brought up the 49ers. They have that momentum of that win and that comeback going to Dallas. Well, on the other side of that, the Rams, they have that gut punch like, damn, we really blew a 17-point lead and went to overtime and we still lost at home. Could affect them. That could affect them, but the defense is going to have to show up. And like I said, I think that all Stafford has to do is play a good game. He doesn't have to play great. I mean, he does have to play great, but he just cannot make any mistakes. And with the defense, I think it'll be enough to get it done. Just because the Cardinals don't have D-Hop. If you would have asked me maybe a month ago, it probably would have taken the Cardinals, but they have not been the same since they lost DeAndre Hopkins, and that's why I'm going with the Rams. And then you said you're going with the Cardinals, right?
Yep, I'm going with the Cardinals.
So that one's going to be the final game of the wild card weekend.
Wild card on a Monday in 2022.
I was really kind of actually hoping for the 3-3, but I'm kind of glad we got that Monday game. That'll be something different.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm actually looking forward to that. And
3 days of football instead of just 2. I think I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, and I wonder if the Manning brothers are going to do their thing for the playoff game, because it's on ESPN.
I sure hope so.
Because that'd be interesting to see them cover a playoff game. Those are the 2 guys
I love watching commentate football.
That would be good. But that wraps it up for the wild card predictions and the MVP talk. I want to thank you for joining us. And just tune in. Jake, if you want to shout out your Twitch, man, go for it.
Shout out to my Twitch, Jake from Bake Farm, and that's my Twitter handle as well, and my Instagram. And thank you for coming through. Appreciate you guys. Go Pack Go this year, 2022.
There you have it, folks. It was good, and into the playoffs.